and welcome to the first video for this channel. This is going to be a series, which will also be a story, of my truck. I dub it the Necromancer. Now, we have some engine building to do. Now, the teardown, I was impressed. For 33 years, this engine aged quite well, which meant good news for me because that meant less things had to be replaced. The connecting rods and pistons, I was planning on replacing them anyway, so yeah. Let's see what's behind this timing cover, because I'm actually very curious. Oh boy, how in the hell was this engine running? Oh well, I'm gonna replace that anyway too. The crank seems to be in good shape, which I was planning on reusing that, so I am relieved. The engine block itself, that's in good shape too. This is looking better and better. Yes. Alright, now the crankshaft, yep, reusing that. The flywheel, there is no damage to that at all. Now, wrapping it up, because I've got to put it away in the shed. It's going to take me about 2 weeks to get it up to the shop before I can really start hammering away at it. Yay, I got it to the shop. Got it up on the engine stand in my little slice of heaven over here in the corner of the shop. I work as a mechanic, so I asked the boss, and he said, yeah, you can bring your engine up here as long as it doesn't sit, which I don't intend on letting this thing sit. I plan on hammering away at this thing every single day as much as I can until it is running. So let's get started. So obviously the cylinders are definitely going to need some honing. There's some glazing going on, which I have prepared for that. I got a honing tool. It's not the most expensive one, but it will do the job. Let the honing begin! Alright, we got the cross-hatching taken care of. No more glazing. I'm satisfied. Now obviously we're going to be reusing the clutch. The camshaft is getting replaced along with the timing chain. The crank pulley, I'm going to be reusing that. The pistons, we've already discussed that I'm going to be replacing that. And the crankshaft, it's too good of shape for me to reuse, not to reuse. Well, time to clean up the block. Slowly, but steadily. Minute by minute. Well, I only get to work on the thing maybe 10-15 minutes a day, but this is pretty much a week's worth of work. And there we go. Engine's nice and clean. And I think I might need to replace the freeze plugs. Yeah, I might as well do that. But boss decided to throw a bunch of cars at me, so I'll return engine. Alright, well, while I'm waiting on all the freeze plugs, I can work on the heads. And let's see how the insides look. Oh boy! Well, that's nothing that a wire wheel can't fix, so yeah, time for me to hit the wire wheel and clean the valves off, get all that crap off of them. Alright, well, while I'm doing that, I can also check out to see, oh boy, these need some cleaning. And, oh boy, yeah, I'm glad that I was going to replace the freeze plugs, because, yep. Now, in case you don't realize, well, you probably don't know because it's not obvious, but somebody at my shop tested positive for COVID, so I had to basically be out of work for 14 days. And right before I came back, this happened! So first I get held back because of this COVID nonsense, which, oh well. And then St. Pete decides to flood. Which my truck was just fine, because it's well high enough off the ground to where flooding isn't going to affect it. My motorcycle, however, yeah, didn't fare out too well, so time to fix that and then get back to my engine. Alright, got the freeze plugs all installed, and this thing's starting to look really nice. Wow, I can actually start with putting everything together now. Old cam meets new cam. I went ahead and bought a 268H, about 140 bucks. And the bearings were about, all of them together, about 80 bucks. Well, engine is now ready for the rotating assembly. New pistons! I got the flat top Hyper Eutectics. And I got H-beam connecting rods, because if this thing's going to be putting out a lot of torque, I needed to be able to handle it. Time to assemble the pistons and the connecting rods, get everything staged for when I go to do this, and yay! I have a rotating assembly! Ha-ha! Halfway there. Minor details. I am so excited I got it to this point. However, this is where things started going south at the shop. Because now, apparently the uppers in the company, the uppers in the company got a little angry that I was building an engine in the shop, so I had to start speeding up the process. So, which means that all the rest of the stuff I wasn't able to video in great detail. But hopefully I can cover as much of it as possible. Got the valve covers and oil pan cleaned up. Got the timing chain installed on the engine block. Got the timing cover finally on it, which I had to actually put that together. Oil pan is on. And now we can flip this thing up. And yes, I installed the oil pump, so don't nobody get on my ass about that. Now that the engine is painted, top end's all put together, we're almost at the end of the road here, guys. The only problem I ran into now was I realized that the flywheel was not going to bolt on for me to be able to break in the cam until I put the bell housing on, which I took care of that. Just had to lift it up, unbolt it, and then bolt the bell housing on, and then bolt the engine stand to the bell housing. Perfect. Now I got everything hooked up and realized I needed upper motor mounts. So got a donor truck, got those. Truck is in the shop, ready for the engine to go in. And 40 minutes later, oh, I had to put the new motor mounts in anyway. But the engine is now in. And I know you guys are going to get really angry at me going, all that and we didn't get to hear the engine run? Are you sick? Well, I drove it home, and here you go. Through all the trials and tribulations, floods, and my shop basically being a dick to me, I still managed to get this thing built and installed and driving. Now, I'm a little worried now, because I was only expecting to get volumetric efficiency, which, if you don't know what that means 1 horsepower per cubic inch. And from my finely tuned ear, I can tell it's got a lot more than 454 horsepower. I'm gonna have to have one of my buddies has a dyno in his shop. I'm going to have to dyno test this engine and see exactly what it's cranking out, but I think I might have accidentally overbuilt it. So that's where I'm at so far. And I took this engine that was almost forgotten, and I made it reborn. But you know what? I'm still not done because I've got body work to do. But on the flip side, one of my friends told me this was a perfect sleeper, so I'm going to go on that for a little bit. And I am so glad that I installed the manual transmission because, I overbuilt the shit out of this engine. But that's fine too, because I'd rather have something overbuilt than something that disappoints me. Plus, I can put my skills to the new engine build. One of my co-workers in the shop, after seeing my engine come to life, he wants me to build his 350. So, it looks like TorquePerformance is born. Hell yeah. So if you enjoy what I'm doing here, be sure to like and subscribe. Bang the bell to get those notifications, because there's going to be more coming this way. And, for future videos, I'm going to be doing more actual recording, because I'm going to look into getting a tripod, an actual camera, because I've been doing most of this off of my phone. And, here goes nothing. Let's see if this series can take off.